This PowerPoint presentation covers Numbers Level 2 from Chapter 20 of the Canadian Business English Text, 5th edition. First up, we'll talk about related numbers. Related numbers should be expressed as the largest number is expressed. So the best way to explain this is to have a look at the examples. In the first example, the sentence reads, "Their department has 2 secretaries, 8 copywriters, and 1 manager." The highest related number is 8, and 8 is written out as text. Numbers 1 to 10 are written out as text. And so all of the numbers there are going to also be written out as text. But in the second example, of the 24 pieces of equipment, 3 fax machines and 7 copiers are still under warranty. The related numbers in this case are in purple: 24, 3, and 7. 24 is higher than 10 and therefore is written as a figure, and therefore 3 and 7 are also written out as figures. Let's turn our attention to consecutive numbers. When 2 numbers appear consecutively and both modify a following noun, express the first number in words and express the second in figures. Take a look at the example here. I purchased 15 48-cent Christmas stamps. There are 2 numbers that appear consecutively, 15 and 48, and both modify the following noun of stamps. So we express the first number in writing and the second number as a figure. The exception is if the first number cannot be expressed in 1 or 2 words, then we place it in figures also. So in the example, the office has ordered 750 12-page student code of conduct booklets. The word 750 would mean writing more than 2 words, and so we have written it in this sentence as a figure. The general rule is that numbers between 1 and 10 are written, and above 10 are figures. But when we're dealing with periods of time, any period of time that can be expressed in 1 or 2 words is written in word form, but periods of time that cannot be expressed in 1 or 2 words is written in figure form. So you can see in the second example here, the rainy season went on for 117 straight days. We've written 117 in figure form. If we were to say something like the rainy season went on for 15 straight days, then that can be expressed in 1 word, and therefore we would write out the whole word. Although we discussed the rule for writing periods of time as anything that could be written as 1 or 2 words, the number would be written as the whole word, whereas if the number would take more than 1 or 2 words to write out, then we would use figures. However, there are exceptions to this rule. Figures may be used to achieve special emphasis in expressing business concepts such as discount rates, interest rates, warranty periods, credit terms, and loan periods. So in the first example, the length of the loan was 120 days. We are using the figure. In the second example, the warranty runs for 90 days, also using the figure. Same for the third example. The interest rate remains stable for 78 days. So even though these can be written in the 1 or 2 day rule, we are writing the figure instead. I know the rules are getting to be a bit much, but we have several more to come, so hang in there. Next we'll look at ages and anniversaries. Ages and anniversaries that can be expressed in 1 or 2 words are generally written in word form. So we've seen this type of rule before. Michelle's father is 71 years of age, and her brother is 42. Both are written as words. However, ages appearing immediately after a name are always expressed in number form. So in the next example, Frank Geller, 47, was named the new trustee. The number appears after the name, written in number form, even though it can be expressed in 2 words. And the final rule regarding ages and anniversaries: ages expressed in exact years and months are expressed in the figure form or number form. So you can see in this example, 80 years and 7 months, both are written as figures. Numbers that are used in conventional phrases are expressed as figures. So have a look at the following conventional phrases and note the use of the figure. Sections, public law, figures, room, page number, area code. These kinds of items are expressed as figures. In your workplace, you may come across some business documents where symbols are used with figures. So in the following example, 65%, 39 cents, number 9 envelope, 2 out of 10. So even particularly with the use of the cent sign, that's not something that we encourage. We encourage the correct usage of writing out the word cents, but you'll have to have a look at how business documents in your workplace are used. Numbers used with abbreviations are also expressed as figures. So you can see the abbreviations here, the abbreviation for number, NO, the abbreviation for apartment, APT. We're using figures with these examples. And here we are with the last slide, with the last rule, assuming that you're following the order that I've placed the PowerPoint slides up. So we will be looking at using numbers with round numbers. Numbers that are being used as approximations, in which you have rounded, may be expressed in word or figure form, although the figure form is shorter and easier to comprehend. So in the example, nearly 80 employees invested in the company's profit-sharing plan, you could use either, although personally I would use the figure. So some of these approximation words that indicate round numbers are being used might be nearly, about, or approximately. And now for our last check your skill. Dry your tears, everyone. I'll give you a moment. Okay, let's correct any number errors here. We got more than 50 reservations before 7 a.m. Do you see any number errors with this sentence? The word 50, being greater than 10, is written as a figure, and when you're using the AM or PM, then you would also use a figure. So those are two errors in this sentence. Next up, please order 50 100-watt light bulbs. Do you notice anything here that can be corrected? When you're using two consecutive numbers that modify the noun, then we write both numbers as figures. Our third sentence is, the show store accepts returns for 30 days. Do you spot any errors in this sentence? The general rule for numbers in periods of time is that if writing out the number in full would require one or two words, that we would go ahead and write out the number in full. However, when we're dealing with special circumstances, such as warranties in this case, we write out the number as a figure. Therefore, this word 30 would be updated to the figure 30. On to our fourth example here. You will get our next payment within 30 days. Any problems with this sentence? Just as discussed in our last answer, if the number that is associated with a period of time can be written out in one or two words, one word in the case of 30, then we go ahead and write out the full word. Our fifth example is Peter got his BA degree when he was 19 years old. Are there any errors with the numbers in this sentence? So with age, the rule was if the number can be written out in one or two words, then we write the whole number as written form. So in this case, we would write out 19. Here's our final example. Quad Technology reported losses of $6 million. Do you see anything wrong with this sentence? I hope that you found these narrated PowerPoint presentations useful. It's now time to move on to your pre-tests and your post-tests for numbers, and good luck with those.